Hello everybody, Caden here today with the first episode of our brand new version of our long-standing Minecraft Zoo series. Today, we're doing it. We finally made the jump to 1.16 and we are building a zoo with the relatively new, at least, Alex's mobs, as well as a few other mods, all of which should be listed in the description down below. But what do we have? So obviously we have Alex's mobs, we have exotic birds, and Untamed Wilds, and I think those are the three main mods we have. So that gets us a decent selection of animals. I think we've got probably around 40 to 50 creatures for this park. That being said, I don't know how many of those we'll actually add in, or how many episodes this series is going to be. It might not be a very long one, just kind of depends. But anyway, here we are. So I spent a little bit of time before the episode just kind of working on our entrance to the park. Also, if you're wondering what the shader pack is, this is Nostalgia Shaders, I believe. I'll have that linked in the description down below if you'd like to check the shader pack out. It's pretty nice. I really like it. But yeah, we've got a little entrance here, which if you've seen the previous zoo series we've done, this is already way more advanced than those, considering usually I don't bother building an entrance, or if we do, it's kind of mediocre. But this, I'm really happy with. We got a nice little zoo sign there. We got another zoo sign there. We got this nice little entranceway. We've got a little gateway. We get your tickets, you walk through and all that. We've got some fairy lights, all this lovely stuff. But yes, today, as you've probably seen by both the title and the thumbnail, hopefully, today we are building our first exhibit, which is the Capuchin monkey. Which the reason I picked is, so usually if I was starting a zoo, I would like to do, like a bird first, like a flamingo, but we always do flamingos, so I wanted to mix it up a bit. So I was then like, oh, well, Alex's mobs is the main mod we're using for this series, and I want to use something from there. The problem is most of these animals aren't animals I would consider to be starting animals for a zoo. Like the first animal you see, because, you're supposed to walk more around to see the cooler stuff. And I couldn't find anything, so I was like, well, this is going to be problematic, but Capuchin monkeys, they work. They should function as a pretty decent starting animal. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So I haven't got a 100% exact plan on what we're going to be doing here, but I think, oh, I didn't even grab regular stone, or did I? No, I just didn't grab regular stone bricks. That's pretty funny. All right, let's just get some basic materials. I guess just didn't pick up stone. That's also kind of funny. All right, so let's just get some basic materials out here. So some stripped logs, some of that, and some terracotta, as well as, of course, our world edit tools. So I'm trying to think, where exactly do we want this? We can have it like right in front of the entrance, or I think actually what I might do is, since we've kind of got this like wall already being built here, we might just, and let's fly back for a second and just take a look at the space. So say we probably want to kind of do a bit more like this, and we'll just use grass blocks right now. By the way, if you're wondering, wait a second, Caden, why isn't this in the replay mod or whatever? And that is because Alex's mobs is only forged, whereas unfortunately replay mod is only with fabric. So we'll be going back to an old-fashioned, well, at least old-fashioned if you've been on the channel for a while, zoo series where you get to see me build the entire exhibit on camera. You get to see all this kind of stuff, which I think might actually work out a bit better, because I feel like the most common comment I get nowadays whenever I do these builds is, oh, can you do a tutorial on how to build this? So, you know what? I'm going to count this as the tutorial because, I'm building it live, so y'all can get a pretty good idea. Now, do I want to go for the darker terracotta here or the lighter terracotta? I don't know. I feel like both could work pretty well. But anyway, we're gonna quickly just kind of go like this and deepen the exhibit down a little bit, just so that way. And it'll create a few little holes like that, but that's fine. We can fix those. I was about to say we can fix those in post, but no, we just fix them later when it's actually, you know what? Oh, no, never mind. Actually, I don't want to do that. And then that'll be fine. And we'll cut this down. I mean, most of this will probably end up bringing back at some point, but I am okay with kind of tearing some stuff down real quick just to get us started. So yeah, all right. By the way, speaking of this series being slightly different, since we're going back to a more, you guys get to watch me build everything. These episodes are going to be slightly longer, but I think that'll probably be okay even because if I remember correctly, I mean, that's how we did most of the aquarium stuff, and those videos did pretty well, so yeah. But anyway, I'll just say this right now, if you guys are excited about the series and interested in seeing more, why not drop the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these videos. Also, if you have any suggestions for what animals we should do next, you can leave that in the comments down below. I'd love to know what animals you guys want to see, since I'm relatively new to this mod, and there's a lot of cool stuff in here. There's lots of cool animals. I'm trying to think here. No, we're not gonna do this straight edge here. That would be a bit boring, I think. So let's just kind of, not that, okay. I think I'm just gonna take all of this out for right now, and we'll kind of build it back up. Because the pathway is just using the world edit command over and over, because I have one world edit command for pathways that I love, and why would I ever stop using it? All right, and then we can make a proper kind of thing here. We should move it out one more. Thinking about it now, that way we can just kind of, yeah, because then it'll line up perfectly with that over there, and I'm just gonna fill all of this with dirt, so I can just use the command to turn the dirt into our path material. So we've kind of got this interesting shape here. I'm trying to think here. So what do we want for this? How are we gonna do this one? Should probably, I've got glass in here. And actually, just realized most of this is actually, wrong block. There we go. We're gonna want to make this like this, and then we might do 3 tall. I think that should be okay. Yeah, like that. And then we'll bring some glass panes in real quick, just to kind of create the viewing area over here. I do actually kind of like that dirt being mixed in. Maybe I'll add a bit of dirt into the path mixture when I go back over this all. Yeah, okay, do I want it to be a 3-high window or 3-high pane of glass? I think a 3-high will probably be a bit nicer. Whoops. Just because, yeah, I mean, these are going to be not going to be, they are arboreal animals. So having a slightly taller viewing area might work slightly better, just to kind of give you a bit better of a view. And right here, actually, let's take, what would be a good block for this? I mean, I'd probably just go with my classic favorite block, the smooth stone. By the way, I am using a texture pack, which will also be linked down below. I forget what it's called. I think it's Stay True or something like that. I'm not using Faithful for once, which is kind of weird for me, because we always use Faithful in these series. But, I felt like, what, we're in a new version, we're playing a new mod, might as well try out a new texture pack as well. And I quite like it. I think it works pretty well. But yeah, we've got some doors here now, so those will... Man, the shadow there is pretty intense, but... it's just kind of funny. I think it's just because it's really bright everywhere else. Anyway, so we'll make a staff entrance over here. So... I like the texture for the iron door on this, so we might use that. Let's see, we can put that like there, and then we've got like this. And how do we want to do the fence here? I could just use that. We could also use just some blocks, actually, and that might work quite well. So we'll just kind of like drag along some of this, and then kind of have that. And I think a good way to kind of bring the staircase in, since we'll have to do that, because we need the zookeeper's to actually be able to get into the exhibit. Could be just doing a simple little staircase type thing, like right there. And yeah, and that'll actually work really well, I think, because that should fit in rather inconspicuously with a regular old rock build, like right over here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a staircase, but it is. And actually, we might put that there. Put that like that, and kind of go a bit more. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. But yeah, now we've got like a little staircase you can take up to the entrance to the exhibit. So that works pretty well. And we'll add in some coarse dirt back here. And I think actually, you know what, we'll take these blocks here, which are, you know, I don't actually even remember what mod this is that adds these in. I think like more decorative blocks. You know what, I will look that up for next time. But let's grab our dark oak so we can kind of keep this theming consistent. And there we go. We've got our little staff path area over to get into the exhibit. So that should work pretty well. I'm trying to think now. How do we want to make, actually, doing something like that should actually give us a bit more interesting color there. Yeah, that's way better. And part of me actually thinks maybe we could take that just out there. I like that a lot better. Yeah, that's pretty nice actually. So how do we want this build? How do we want this to look? Well, one thing that would probably be the case is, just thinking in general for some sort of monkey exhibit, there is going to be a fence around it because obviously primates climb and we don't really want them climbing out of the enclosure. We're not going to be too careful with exactly how far away everything's spaced. I think I am just naturally kind of getting the spacing right, but that's, well, I mean, when you build nothing but exhibits for like 5 years, you get kind of good at placing them down consistently. I'm trying to think. Part of me thinks it would actually be really cool to have a bridge somewhere. Like so we have like a pathway come through here, let's say, but along with this, we also bring in some sort of like, so we have like a pathway go through here, but then we have like a second monkey enclosure over here, and then a bridge between the two, and that could be pretty interesting. I don't know if we'll do that right now, but I feel like that could also work because I feel like a second viewing area maybe should go like right here maybe. So we'll throw in like another bit of glass here, and that might work pretty well. So let's just try that out real quick and just see how this looks. And we'll probably edit the terrain a little bit there just to kind of get it to be a bit more consistent with everything else we have. And okay. But yeah, and then we keep bringing this along and just kind of bringing this over here, and about there should be good. Okay, so now we have staff path, main viewing area, a secondary viewing area back here so we can link another path up over here, and now we just need to design the actual interior. So there we go. So we're just gonna start off with my my favorite thing, and actually, you know what, one quick thing I should do before then is stone bricks. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of drag some stone bricks along like this, because that will give us where the fence is going to be, which will keep us from accidentally building over the top of it and kind of creating issues with the rock walls. All right, so like that, and then that. Okay, so now we've got a proper like outline of the whole fence, and it's very funny right now. For those of you who've seen other videos I make, or my other series, which I'm sure most of you who are probably gonna watch this have, and if you haven't, go check them out. They're pretty good. It's kind of funny building a build like this right now because I'm so used to building stuff for Jurassic World Reborn, where, you know, the animals are absolutely enormous and you got to build these like megalithic exhibits. to just kind of not have to do that for once, and to just kind of go in and build what is actually a reasonably sized exhibit. I mean, the Capuchin monkeys aren't really all that big either. They're pretty small. So we can probably bring in a bit of dirt and grass there. Just to kind of mix things up a bit. And we'll make this look a little bit better in a second as we kind of bring in more rocks. Like that, da, 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 da. And that's already looking about 1,000 times better. All right, okay. We are gonna have to build some custom trees for this, I think. So we'll see how much that takes. Okay, is that rock okay? Because it's kind of going up against the glass. Yeah, no, that one's fine. Okay, just want to make sure we didn't mess up there before we continue, because it's always a bit annoying when you, if you kind of mess up like a bit of a build like that, and then you have to come back and redo it later because it doesn't look quite right. And we are going to come back over here, and let's get some iron bars out, just so that way we can make a little bit of a wire mesh fence framing type thing. And there we go. And we can just throw a little bit of that up there, just kind of like some sort of like anti-climbing thing, you know? Okay, so let's get the andesite and cobblestone out. We probably won't be using too many full blocks of either. We just want a little bit here and there to create slightly different textures. And, you know, try and add a bit of color. Ironically, to a palette that is entirely gray, we're trying to add, you know, little splashes of color. But well, I guess it doesn't add color very well, but you know, it's a nice little breakup of texture, so it looks better. And I want to replace that with a stair, and that will get andesite as well. Andesite, stair, and I actually would like a bit more cobblestone, I think, for the pathway, because that'll kind of denote it a bit better, I think, which would be good. I think at least, you know, it's good to kind of make the pathway stand out a bit more. All right, and we'll just do that. Andesite there, cobblestone, andesite, and cobblestone, and you guys can like look at that. Like that is already about 1,000 times better. And you know, I'm just thinking now, right? So this is a somewhat tropical exhibit because monkeys typically, well, at least these monkeys, I believe, live in more tropical environments. If towards the base of this, we add in some mossy cobblestone, what we're gonna get is this kind of effect that makes it look like, and do we have like, do we have mossy cobble slabs? We do, okay, that's actually perfect, okay. So what we're gonna do here is, anywhere where I've put cobblestone that's at the base of the enclosure, we're gonna start switching some of it out for these mossy blocks. Because what this is gonna do is kind of give it the feel, hopefully at least, if I'm doing this correctly, which I think I am. It's gonna start making it look like the bottom of the enclosure is rather damp. So because it's very damp, it's, you know, it's getting all of that moisture brought down from, you know, rainfall and whatnot, or, you know, hypothetically at least. It's gonna make the enclosure look a bit more tropical, hopefully, a bit more overgrown, which is lovely jubbly. That's something we're aiming for. Aiming for a bit of interest with this build. All right, we'll do that. We don't want every cobblestone bit touching the ground to be this way, you know, because that'll look very repetitive and uninteresting, which we want to avoid. So I might actually switch that one out as well, and then kind of like that. And that is looking wonderful. I'm actually really happy with this. Okay. Do we want to add any more textures? Oh, we need to texture up this area a bit more, so... Throw some andesite there. Throw some andesite there. And we can throw one more mossy cobble there. Okay. So that is looking fairly good overall. if I do say so myself. Okay, so we're gonna start chucking some stuff in here. What we want now is our jungle, and we'll get some jungle leaves, and let's get out the dirt mixture. So we can start making the actual terrain down here a bit more interesting. And let's get a bucket of water. Do we have like we have a water barrel from one of my mods. That's actually kind of cool. Can we just like, oh, whoops. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. We got like a little barrel of water. We'll see if we want to keep that. Let's just get some ground texture going. So what we're gonna do is just start by, well, it probably would have been better just to use World Edit here, and I could use World Edit, but since I am just kind of using this, I guess, at least this first episode is much more of a tutorial on like the basics of how I build exhibits, I will do the ground texturing by hand this time, and next time I'll probably just get some World Edit command going so that way I can do it way, way faster, because that is so much simpler than doing it this way. Because by hand, it just takes a bit more time. I mean, it's pretty easy to do, and I mean, that's how you'd be doing it in survival right now. So, you know, for those of you who might be trying to do this in survival, I guess this is probably somewhat helpful. We'll just fill those in there. Okay, so this is gonna be a hill. So I'm just gonna break that real quick. We're just gonna randomly place down some patches of that and some coarse dirt. And let's see, we've got regular dirt here. I don't really want any regular dirt. Might even just throw in some mossy cobble here and there just to kind of get a bit more interest. And where is the wonderful block that is gravel? Okay, so got a bit too much there. So we need to break that up a bit more. But let's check out how that looks from up here. It may look a little bit weird now, but it's gonna look a bit better in a second as I just kind of throw this down around here. And you know what? We're gonna take, oh, that's right by the stairs. So nope, we're not gonna throw that there. In fact, right over here might be a really good area for this because this is within range of both viewing areas. And we'll just throw in some water there for the animals to drink from. And now we'll go back to our gravel. So we want to kind of thin the gravel out a bit more. Maybe throw it like over here, a bit more towards like where the rocks are. Just kind of, you know, giving it that more of a like, you know, I say you know, but of course I should probably explain myself. It makes it look like, you know, there's little broken rocks at the edge of all these rock faces we've got, which kind of sells the illusion of it a bit better. And then we'll throw some more coarse dirt in around there, kind of make the transition between it and the pods a little bit nicer. Just like this. You want to be somewhat random with it, you know, you don't want too many patterns kind of emerging, because that will tend to make it look very artificial, which if you're doing a lot of exhibit work, you want to avoid things looking too artificial. So we're going to start filling this in with more podzol, just trying to get a bit more of this texture in here. Okay. All right, now that's looking, you know, we probably do need a bit more grass in here as well. I was debating whether or not we really needed it, but we do, I think, because it's looking a bit too dry in the bottom of this. We don't want tons of this though. We want just patches, because this is gonna give us that very green vibe we definitely need in here without being too overpowering. Yeah, that's a lot better actually. Okay. That being said, I mean, most of this will end up getting covered by leaves, by bushes, by all sorts of little plants we throw in here to kind of, you know, make it more elaborate and fun and all that stuff. And then we'll throw in a couple couple lines of grass. Like this, and yeah, okay. Looking pretty good. And now we just need the rest of the podzol. Just like that. Okay, and now we've got a nice looking ground texture that's a bit more random, a bit more interesting. That should, actually, if we quickly just kind of throw some of these blocks over on the grass we have up here, well, it's gonna look a little bit better. I kind of forgot I need to actually do this. All right, we'll throw that there, give it a bit more height variation. No, that one, stay like that. Okay, that's good. So yeah, now we got a nice little area in there. It's all looking pretty good. So what should we do now? I think what I might do real quick is this. We'll just kind of, because we already have these mossy cobble blocks like here, it already kind of fits pretty well, is we'll just kind of build up a little rock over here. Oops, like that. All right, and yeah, that looks pretty good. That's a bit more interest to the build and is what we want. All right, so now what we're going to do is, and I think it'd be cool to kind of try and incorporate this tree a bit into the rock. And can I think, unless I have gone completely mad, let's just type in log. I believe there's logs with all sides. Is that a thing? It might be a thing, and I'm just kind of losing my mind and not remembering what it is, or if it's in the game. But we're just gonna build up some quick custom trees, and or probably just two custom trees maybe. I don't know. It'll kind of depend on how these look and how much space they're taking up. But we should raise this up a bit more like that. And kind of try and bulk out the tree a bit. That way it doesn't look so flimsy, one might say. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got tree number 1, and now we're just gonna go in with our jungle leaves over here. And we'll just kind of start building it up. So we're gonna go for probably one of my usual methods of doing leaves on custom trees. Just we just kind of start towards the edges and randomly just start bringing down these little strands of leaves that give it this very overgrown kind of appearance like that. We do need to bulk it out a little bit. Kind of like that. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's looking a lot better. So I'll also just kind of start dragging these out like that. And this tree should also make a really cool like centerpiece for right when you enter the zoo, because it'll draw your eyes immediately to it and give you something cool to look at that kind of just captures your eye, and it will probably pull you more towards the exhibits, which is good. So we'll kind of drag in some extra little like vine-like structures down there. Just kind of trying to keep it all fairly random when it comes to lengths and distribution. Kind of like that. And I mean, look at that. That's already turning out pretty well, if I do say so. Looking pretty fantastic for what we want. Now, we're gonna throw in, since I'm thinking we probably don't want to throw in too many trees overall, because if we do too many big trees like this, you know, there either isn't A, going to be enough space for them, or B, it's going to make this exhibit look overcrowded, which we don't want. I also want to make sure, you know, you can still see, and we want to see into the tree a little bit, because if I quickly grab these blocks here, what we can do is, especially at, say, like, would be a good point. I feel like here might be a good point. We can build little platforms like this for the little monkeys to sit on and kind of just hang out at. And we'll build another one up like this. Just kind of do stuff like that. All right, and we can actually use some of these to kind of add some branch detail to some of the branches up here. I meant to do this on the other ones, but we've already covered those with leaves, so we'll just kind of throw these into random places like that. So when you see underside them, it'll give you a bit of that illusion that there's like smaller branches along with the bigger ones. Okay, and that's actually about all we want tree-wise. We don't want to throw, again, we don't want to throw too much in there because then the exhibit gets a bit too busy and won't look quite as good. But now what we get to do is the other part where you can go slightly overboard with it and it won't look great, but we're gonna throw in some oak leaves. The reason we're picking oak is just because it's a different texture to the jungle wood, so it'll look a bit more like shrubbery. And just throw in these little batches of leaves to kind of give it a bit more of an overgrown look. Like that, and maybe we can throw one right there. And let's see how that's looking. That's actually looking pretty good there. Let's throw just a little bit over here, kind of covering up a bit of the entrance for the zookeepers, just like that. And then we can kind of like that actually might be better. Yeah, okay, that's actually pretty good. All right, right. So now what we want to do is probably my favorite part, deleting all the items. Now, going in and adding in some plants. We do need some string, I think, so that way the bamboo will stop growing at a certain point. But like, oh, actually, we probably want to bone meal this instead, because then we'll get the nice fronds on the top. Though I don't know if that's kept if you, since I am, okay, that's perfect. Okay, so we'll do that a bit, just kind of give some other tall plants. So we have a bit of height variation going on. Whoops, wrong button. Whoops, there. All right, and that's blocked by a set of leaves, so that's okay. We don't want too much bamboo in here. We just kind of want a little bit, because going overboard with this is not gonna look as good. Okay, and then we'll start throwing in some ferns in areas, some lilacs, just to get a bit more color into these builds. There's actually a really nice flower I have up by the entrance to the zoo, so I want to go grab that plant real quick. So we'll quickly run over there. There it is. It's these, not large, the blue hydrangea. I love these things. They're very colorful. Large plants as well, which works pretty well to just kind of fill in some areas, especially around bushes where, you know, they've got this double, or they already take up a block height, so having a double tall plant works pretty well with just kind of adding in a bit more color. Plus, that flower is good for, well, at least I would say it's probably going to be pretty good for kind of unifying several areas of the park, is just by throwing this plant in either around in the decorations or by having it somewhere in the enclosure. So we kind of start to tie everything together a bit better. Let's bring in, let's take out that. We don't need the Amazon sword. Let's see the common reeds. Can I bone meal this one? Oh, we can, okay. Okay, so this is basically just, well, I don't really want that there then, because I think that's gonna be a bit too tall. So we'll take the elephant ears, the tall grass, and we probably have enough large ferns, so we'll take a single lily pad and just throw it in there. All right, and just start placing around a bit of grass, get some double tall grass going in, and make everything look a bit more interesting. Got some elephant ears, which are some pretty nice looking little tropical plants here. I'm gonna kind of throw these closer to the bushes, I think, because I think that's gonna look a bit better. All right, and like that, and let's see, throw in another orchid or two, and then just some more grass every little ways around here. Maybe a bit of double tall grass over here. And then we'll go back to the normal grass just to kind of lay it down like that. And I think that should be a pretty amazing looking enclosure for the monkeys. All right, I want to see. Do we have like a fruit barrel? We have a fruit box. That's annoying. All right, so we'll just get a watermelon, and I think if I check this mod, quick, banana peels. Doesn't appear like we have a banana tree, which is unfortunate, or like a pile of bananas, but we'll add in some watermelon real quick. Just once again to kind of break up the textures and add in a bit of interesting color to it. And if we can find, yeah, like some weird little places. Oh, there was a fern there, but now it's a watermelon. But yeah, like that, and right back there. Perfect. Absolutely fantastic. And there we go. We've got a pretty nice looking little monkey exhibit now, I'd say. All right, now we need the actual monkey itself. So let's throw these guys in here. 2, 3, 4. Is that 3? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 9 little Capuchin monkeys to live in our brand new monkey exhibit. Oh, I love these guys. They look fantastic. They're very cute. They're really fast. But yeah, it doesn't look like they're climbing anything, which on one hand I'm kind of sad about because it means they probably aren't going to be using these platforms. But on the other hand, it does mean they won't be escaping, which is also kind of good. So yeah, there we go. That is our Capuchin monkey exhibit. Of course, there'll be improvements made as we go on, bringing the pathways around, throwing in more foliage around the outside of the build, akin to what I have over here, and just doing stuff like that. But yeah, for our first exhibit, I want to actually see, oh, we need to fix the pathway here, so we'll just throw it like that. I want to see how this looks from the entrance. So you're coming to the zoo, just bought your ticket, and yeah, we got our first little exhibit over here. And I think, yeah, this is a good starter build for the park. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have all enjoyed that. Let me know if you guys liked the exhibit. Let me know also what animals you would like to see for next episode. I mean, we've got a lot we can mess around with. And yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.